Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Chong Feng, and I focus on macroeconomics and tech for all you enthusiasts out there. Today, we're going to tackle a really interesting question. Pretty much everyone says they want to be rich, but is that actually true? And, more importantly, how can figuring this out help people like us in the real world?
Now, you might think this is just some ordinary topic, right? But seriously, getting this right can help you smash through some major cognitive blind spots, the stuff that might be holding you back without you even realizing it. So, what if the biggest roadblock to wealth isn't the market or bad luck, but a little lie we tell ourselves? Let's get into it.
All right, first up, let's talk about what I call the great ambition lie. This is all about the huge gap between what we say we want and what our day-to-day choices prove we actually want. You know, when it comes right down to it, your priorities, they tell the real story.
Look at this comparison. It's super simple, but so powerful. You say, I want to be rich. But in reality, your actions show that things like your health, your family, your comfort, they always come first. If you're constantly putting making money on the back burner for these other things, even totally reasonable things, then the hard truth is that getting rich just isn't your number one priority.
And let's get something straight. This is not a judgment call. Of course, it's not wrong to prioritize your family or your well-being, but it's just a straightforward analysis of cause and effect. If wealth isn't at the absolute top of your list, you're just not going to make the intense sacrifices needed to get there. It's a choice, plain and simple, and just admitting that is a huge first step. So, if just talking the talk isn't enough, what's the real litmus test? Well, it's something called the difficulty threshold. This is where the ambition you talk about gets put to the test. See, true ambition to build wealth isn't really a feeling or some vague desire. It's something you can actually measure. It's your tolerance for hitting a wall, for feeling frustrated and uncomfortable while you learn something new and hard. It's about how many times you can get knocked down by a problem and still get back up to solve it. Let's make this super concrete. Imagine you want to start a cross-border e-commerce store. Sounds like a great idea, right? But then you look at the actual steps. You got to research all the platforms, find suppliers you can trust, deal with language barriers, figure out how to get traffic, and then just when you think you're making progress, bam, your account gets banned for some obscure reason. Every single one of these is a point where most people just throw in the towel.
But here's what's so telling. The people who actually made it, they weren't always the ones who were experts in international business or had a huge online following. Nope. They were the ones who, when they hit a problem, just buckled down and focused on solving that one problem. Account got banned? Okay, what's the fix? Find it, do it, move to the next thing. It's this relentless problem-by-problem grind.
So that naturally leads us to the next big question. Why do so many of us stop? Why is that difficulty threshold so low for most people? Let's dig into the psychology of why we give up so easily. It's really easy to just say, oh, they're just lazy, but it's way more nuanced than that. Think about this great example. A mother who works incredibly hard cleaning the house from top to bottom. No one would call her lazy, but the second you ask her to learn a new function on her phone, even if you're there to help, she immediately throws her hands up and says, oh, this is too much trouble, I can't do it. See? It's not a general laziness, it's a very specific resistance to unfamiliar mental effort. And get this, it's a pretty startling fact. For a lot of folks, the limit for facing new, unsolved problems is incredibly low. We're talking after hitting just 2 or 3 roadblocks, just a couple of things they don't know how to do right away, they reach their breaking point and ditch the whole project. And this is where we find this massive contradiction in our own minds. People will say they quit because they're scared of wasting time on something that might fail. But then, those exact same people will happily spend hours and hours on passive entertainment like scrolling social media or binging shows. They're already wasting time. They just prefer wasting it on easy consumption instead of a hard challenge. So here's the real hidden fear, the thing that's actually driving the decision to quit. It isn't just the fear of failure. It's the regret that the time you spent struggling could have been spent on something easy and comfortable, like relaxing. And that mindset, it creates this terrible feedback loop. Every time you struggle, it just reinforces the idea that you should have just taken it easy.
which makes it even easier to quit the next time you face a challenge. So, when you boil it all down, the difference between those who push through and those who don't, well, it comes down to how you look at the probability game. Here it is, side by side. The low ambition mindset is completely dominated by the high probability of failure. They see that 99% chance it won't work out and say, no thanks, I don't want to lose. But the high ambition mindset, they fixate on that tiny 1% chance of success. That little sliver of possibility is all the motivation they need to jump on the opportunity, even if the odds are stacked against them. Okay, so that's all the theory. Let's bring this home. How can you, as someone who's into tech, maybe planning a side hustle or just trying to level up in life, how can you actually use this stuff to upgrade your own mindset?
All right, here's your action plan. First, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Where does getting wealthy really fall on your list of life priorities? Is it truly number one? Second, try to figure out your own difficulty threshold. How many problems does it take before you usually give up? Then, you gotta actively work on raising that number. Pick one hard thing and commit to mastering it this quarter. And when you stumble, which you will, reframe it. It's not failure, it's data collection. And finally, make a conscious trade. Just 1 hour of mindless scrolling for 1 hour of active problem solving.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. The next time you're looking at a big, difficult, but potentially life-changing goal, which probability are you going to focus on? The overwhelming chance of failure or that tiny, glittering possibility of success? Because your answer is what will decide what you do next. Now, if you want to unlock more of the core content I focus on, do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. And definitely follow my WeChat official account, Rangchengfeng Xijin. I'm here to help you upgrade your thinking, get you closer to wealth and success, and give you access to that cross-class information. And as always, just remember, an information monopoly is a wealth monopoly. Thanks for tuning in.